Hey everybody, it's Bruce Kulick, and of course I'm speaking for SIT Strings. I'm playing SITs now, oh god, maybe 15, 20 years, something like that. And reliable, you know, and consistent, and the quality's always been great. And so I've been very happy to be part of the company for all these years. Actually, you know, there's a lot of musicians in my family, not all pro, but I found out recently that there was a violin player. My uncle apparently was a violin player, but it was like either settle down and get a real job, or my aunt was going to leave him. So that's what I found out. That's on my mom's side of the family. But both my parents, you know, they always had some sort of music in their lives. So I do believe you inherit some of that, which is not a bad thing. I started playing guitar, you know, my brother got into it, even during like kind of like some of the folk stuff, but once the Beatles came out in '63, I was jumping up and down on my bed, you know, watching them on Ed Sullivan, just realizing that this was something really special. And I think having some natural ability just made it a lot of fun. So you know, I kind of encourage everybody to kind of play an instrument anyway. It's just good for the soul. Well, I was definitely inspired initially by the Beatles, but then the whole British invasion of groups, you know, from, you know, The Who and Led Zeppelin, and of course Hendrix had to go to London to make it, but you know, what was happening in that 60s was just amazing, and it's still music that's relative today. I know Jack Bruce is one of your endorsers as well, one of my big heroes, even though I'm a guitarist, I'm a big bass fan as well, so I gotta say there's just so much good, you know, good music that came out of that era. The modern people, like some of my favorite ones, are ones that remind me of those years, you know, but bands like Radiohead and Muse, I think really play some great stuff, even if it's a little progressive sounding. I just really like all those kind of bands. First band I played in was called John Botkin. It was kind of like Jethro Tull, you know what I mean? It was just a high school band that we used to do covers. In fact, I played bass in the band, but it was fun. And then I just jammed with some friends that we did like a kind of cream trio. We didn't even have a name back then, but when I found the music and I put it out, I called it KKB for everyone's initials. You know. Well, studio and live is obviously a whole different vibe, you know, for each one. I kind of think there's a different hat on for each one, you know. For sure the studio thing is more meticulous. You can bring a lot more gear, you can be finessey, you can do things 10 times over again to get it right, and hopefully you'll have that inspired moment. When it comes to live, it's more about, you know, putting on a great show. You know, either way you need reliable strings. So, you know, it all comes down to, you know, having good gear anyway. But obviously, you know, it's some different hats you wear for the two things. Well, I always describe that, you know, I'm in the music business, you know, and they're way different. My love for music is, you know, very sincere, and sometimes, sadly, the business end of it kind of can sour it almost to a certain extent. So you got to realize that you do have to understand what makes sense in the business sense. In the business world, you know, promoting yourself properly and making good connections and having a good reputation is very valuable. And it has nothing to do with talent. So hopefully, you know, you got to have a balance of both, and then you'll be on your way. I always tell young players, you know, to kind of surround yourself with players that are better than yourself. So if you get an opportunity, seek out the best people on your block or in your neighborhood and try to jam with them. You'll learn a lot, and it'll probably raise your level up, and then who knows, you know, maybe something special will happen. You know, I forget how I was first introduced to SIT, and it might have been as simple as walking around an AM show way when I first joined the band, KISS, you know. But I think maybe even then it was like, hey, it's stay in tune. Well, that's a good concept, you know. But I like that it was a small company in the beginning, and they seemed real sincere about you know, taking care of the artist and in the end, it all comes down to just consistent quality, which I've always experienced.
Unless you cry.
I'm just, it's just the power nickel, and the 10s usually the gauges, or sometimes the guitar will fight a little more, and I'll use a set 9 to 46. I play bass too, and I get hired for sessions, so I have, the bass strings on most of my P basses and all. But like I said, again, there's just something about they feel right. They're easy to deal with. I never seem to get them breaking anytime prematurely, and I found that with certain other companies that made me swear I'll never play that brand. So I was just very happy with SIT's consistency. Well, I've obviously accomplished a lot of my dreams, but there's always more things to conquer and more people to collaborate with, and more countries to perform in, and the magic that happens on stage when you connect with the crowd and you see them enjoying what you do, which is something that's such a unique thing, playing an instrument and expressing yourself through music, is just something that just inspires me to keep moving on. So I just like carrying it on and continue more of the same, and hopefully reach some more heights.